We can't hold out on surgery, Rick.
I know I want to get in there as soon as possible. Find out what's happened, where that bullet's lodged.
The x-rays will be up any minute, doctors.
Thanks, Bobby.
The spleen's a pretty sensitive area. It's best to go in with as much information as possible.
And OR2 will be ready in 20 minutes.
Thank you. Ed, thanks for helping.
Listen, this guy's gonna need all the help he can get.
Okay, what's the latest?
On what?
Come on, get in the ball game, Alan. Tolliver, of course. Is the old buzzard dead yet?
We don't know.
Well, what's wrong with you two? Do I have to do everything?
What do you want us to do? Go down to the hospital and hang around his bed and wait?
Get on the phone. Find out what's going on.
I don't think it's a very good idea if we seem a bit too eager.
Oh, eager schmeager. If the old guy dies, the secret dies with him. That's what makes me eager.
And if he dies, we aren't going to ever know where the papers are.
That's the least of my worries. The worst thing that could happen for us is to have him live. If he does, he may have to go on trial, and then everything comes out. Everything.
Of all the parties to miss, I had to miss that one.
Amy, it wasn't exactly a barrel of laughs.
The Quartermaines must have lost it. Did this guy get blood all over their oriental carpets?
You are gross and disgusting. You realize that, don't you?
Hey, you're a doctor, I'm a nurse. We deal with blood all the time. It's no big deal, right?
It's not my favorite topic of conversation over my breakfast, if you don't mind.
Okay. You could leave out the blood, but could you give me some of the details?
He was shot.
I know that Robert Scorpio shot him, but you could tell me something more than that.
That's all I know. He was shot. He was outside. Jimmy Lee found him and he brought him in, and that's it.
But wasn't Jimmy Lee at the party?
Yes, he was.
Well, then what was he doing outside?
Amy, I don't know.
But Les, it was raining out.
Amy, read the paper. They know much more about it than I do.
They have a picture of this guy. Well, it's not really a picture. It's really a police drawing. Crane Tolliver is the weirdest name I've ever heard. Why do you think that they don't have a regular picture?
Why don't you call and ask them? I'm sure they'll be tickled to tell you.
Yeah, right. Les, I know this guy.
Amy.
No, really, I'm not kidding. I really mean it. I don't know where, though, or how. I just remember because he's old and...
Amy, you're going to be late for work.
What? That's it!
Amy.
That's it! No, really, I'm not kidding. It was at the hospital. I'm positive that's where it was. See, I remember because he didn't seem to know where he was going, and that's why I noticed him.
Because you wanted to know where he was going, naturally.
No, I wanted to help him. So I asked him a question, and he didn't answer me. And now I know why. Don't you want to know?
Do I have a choice?
See, he was probably stalking somebody. He probably figured that Susan was at the hospital getting a checkup or something like that. And he was probably going to grab her and drag her into a deserted room, probably the linen closet. No, really. And he was going to kill her. Oh, Les, I should have said something to somebody. I probably could have prevented Susan from being murdered.
Amy, that is ridiculous.
Les, from now on, I'm following my intuitions.
My intuitions tell me that you are going to be late for work.
Think he's going to be on my floor?
I certainly hope for his sake that he isn't.
Are you coming?
No, I have to make a little stop at the university first.
Ah, letter from the dean. Busted. Don't tell me, let me guess. Parrish is getting expelled.
Wrong, my precious. Quite the opposite.
Commissioner's order, Steve. I'm going to have to post a guard outside ICU here and the operating room and break the sides of
I can assure you, Captain, that man in there is in no condition to run out.
I know that, but he is a confessed murderer, and I must go by the book.
I understand. Good. All right, you have my okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Steve. All right. How is he?
The same, I'm afraid.
Here we are.
Good, thanks. I was afraid that might be the case. The bullet is lodged right in the spleen.
Well, that bullet's got to come out, Rick.
Yeah, his heart condition, his age. Go in there. I'm just afraid that his heart may not be able to stand any more extra trauma.
If we don't, his chances of surviving are nil.
Steve?
Looks to me like you don't have a choice. Operate.
Yes, we go in there, we have trouble with the spleen.
There's always a total splenectomy. Get the bullet out, remove the spleen, and close up fast.
Well,
I'm game.
fine, let's do it.
I'll meet you in the scrub room.
Tell him to get him ready.
Boy, oh boy. And I thought police work was risky.
From everything I've heard this morning about Tolliver's arrest, I would prefer surgery anytime.
What happened last night, anyway?
Well, Heather made a deal with Commissioner Scorpio to help try and catch Tolliver. She was the bait. Now, when Tolliver got to Susan's apartment, the police were waiting for him. He tried to escape, and Scorpio shot him.
It sounds very courageous for Heather. Why did Tolliver shoot Susan?
Susan and he were involved in an extortion scheme.
I remember hearing something about that some time back, yes.
Blackmail, wasn't it?
And the Quartermaines were involved.
I never realized Susan was a part of it.
Very interesting. Anything else?
No. Nothing that I'm free to expose to you.
Well, blackmail or not, that doesn't explain why Tolliver killed her.
Probably a cross in some way.
And that's a reason for murder?
Well, if someone as determined as Tolliver, yeah, I'd say it'd be a good one.
Why do you say that?
A man as injured as he was, to drag himself all the way to the Quartermaines, he was very determined about something. Captain, you find out what that something is, and you've got something.
Well, I'm sure it'll all come out eventually.
Well, whatever comes out is up to the commissioner, and whether or not Tolliver lives. Excuse me, John.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well,
Bad news.
he's alive.
Yes, and the latest news is they're going to operate.
Well, if the man lives, we're dead.
Not necessarily. You know, there's a chance that we could talk him into telling us where the papers are.
Yeah, fat chance of that.
No, really. Listen, I was thinking maybe I could go down there after the surgery, and maybe in his weakened condition.
Have you lost your mind? The police are probably just waiting for us to make some dumb move.
Absolutely, Alan, really. If he wouldn't tell Lila where the papers are, he's certainly not going to tell one of us.
Yeah, Monica's right.
Where are those papers?
Maybe he stashed them in a safety deposit box.
Well, wherever he has them stashed away, I just hope they stay in their little cubbyhole and rot. That way, dear Cousin Herbert isn't going to know what happened, ever.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Paper, we're on the front page, all over.
Yes.
Don't remind me.
That's a very good article, actually. Very well documented. It even mentions your son. The other one. Dragging the murderer into the house.
Very courageous young man he is. Regular chip off the old block.
Oh, what an incredible arrival you've given me. Are things always this exciting around here?
Oh, no, actually, this is sort of just an average week, really. Listen, why don't I get you some fresh coffee? This is cold, I'm sure.
Well, thank you. I'll just pick it up in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Would you be a dear and ask Stella to bring me some tea? The woman never seems to be around when I want her.
Of course. By the way, will he be living here now?
Who?
Well, Jimmy Lee. Now that he's been announced as a Quartermaine, I just thought he might want to.
Yeah, over my dead body.
Well, whatever it means really is that, Jimmy Lee sort of really likes the ambience of the waterfront. You know, that really kind of suits his lifestyle.
Yes. Yes, well, he did seem a trifle curious. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Curious, yeah. And he is a Quartermaine.
What are you muttering about now?
You know, if someone has those papers, it has to be the only other someone outside of the police who knows the truth. And that someone is our dear little Jimmy Lee Eric Holt Quartermaine.
Yes, Ramsey, please.
Yeah, Ramsey here.
What's the news on Tolliver?
Oh, Robert, they're getting ready to operate.
How's it look?
Chancy.
Look, there's nothing more you can do there now. I'd like you to check out the construction trailer down at the university.
Oh, I gather that you didn't find what you were looking for?
You gathered right, no papers.
Okay, I'll get right on it.
Listen, don't let Holt see you.
Oh, don't worry, he won't. What's your next move?
I want to have a talk with Tolliver. Faced with surgery and his condition, he may just want to come clean.